Hello and welcome. I'm joined here today by one of our instructors at VFX Apprentice, Ollie McDonald. Hi, Ollie.
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone.
So I met Ollie when we worked together at Riot Games, and I thought it'd be cool if we just had him here because he's going to be teaching the upcoming Advanced Shaders class taught in Unreal Engine. And it'd be cool for you to get to know him. So we're just going to chat for a little bit. And Ollie, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of a little bit of your background. Take it away.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been in the games industry now for about 15 years. So I've worked on a wide variety of projects, consoles, PC, handheld, VR. I've kind of like touched all of the platforms. I initially got into the industry with a background in animation. So when I was kind of finishing school, the thing I really loved, I love Pixar films. I especially love like Final Fantasy cutscenes. And of course, love games. That's a huge thing. I'm a massive gamer.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to make Final Fantasy cutscenes or Pixar shorts. And so I studied animation at university. My final thesis was to do I was trying to aim for Pixar style short. I mean, I don't think I quite hit it, one-man development. But, it was really great to get experience in modeling, rigging, skinning, animating, rendering, compositing. Now, when I finished university, I looked around for jobs in animation, but there weren't really a lot of them going, or they were like hyper competitive. And animation wasn't necessarily the thing that I loved the most. If you go to a job in animation, you just animate all day, every day. And I really like doing a bit of everything. There was a job going in a nearby studio for visual effects. And I mean, at this time, VFX Apprentice or anything like VFX Apprentice didn't even exist. So the main way people got into VFX was either from the tech art side or from the animation side. I kind of latched onto that and got excited about the fact that you get to do a bit of everything in VFX. You have like, everyone kind of sits on the spectrum of technical to artistic. And wherever your skills lie, you can find a really good place to utilize your skills to the best in VFX because you have to touch a bit of everything. And since I got that job in VFX, I never really looked back. I love doing what I do now and super excited to share some of my knowledge with everyone. So
I was always so impressed with your work. I remember I actually played Rigs in VR right around the time it came out. I got so motion sick.
Nice.
That
Wow,
game was
really?
so much fun. Yeah. It was like so much fun actually. I was at a convention and they had it loaded up and I was like, this looks like a blast. And I love mecha games. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then you came to Riot right after that. So I met you. And I mean, your work at Riot Games just speaks volumes for itself. And really some incredible work that you did there on League of Legends.
I really loved my time there. I was on skins the whole time, which was really awesome for me. I'm super excited about League and the League universe. So reimagining skins in different thematics and universes was super exciting. And yeah, I think I got some really valuable experience there too. Being both an artist and then later being a manager, getting a lot of experience in sort of art direction and giving feedback to outsource artists and sort of managing the visual direction of a discipline was a super interesting part of that job too. So,
well, I'm super honored and excited to have you joining us as one of our instructors. This materials class is going to be great. I wanted to talk a little bit about materials and shaders. You know a thing or two about those. I know that you were involved with a lot of the shader work that we were doing on League at the time and some other things too. So talk to us about that specifically. Like if you could share with somebody who was maybe a little hesitant about, advanced shaders, I don't know if I'm ready, I don't know what to do, like they're feeling a little overwhelmed. What would you say to people who are thinking of learning more about materials and shaders but might feel a little scared?
Yeah, I think for me, the most exciting part about learning shaders is that you can do whatever you want, right? It's a very, very powerful tool set. And it can seem quite daunting and intimidating to like learn that. I know certainly it's quite interesting because when I was working at Riot and we were building the material initiative out, I came with a lot of material experience from previous Unreal projects, but the League toolset was quite structured. It was very limited, right? Like the material was part of the emitter and you had to make it how it was. And that worked really great for League. for 99% of the things you want to do. But there are certain really cool effects that you want to make with materials, like things based on the camera angle, cool metallic stuff that you just can't make when you have that sort of like very structured set. So gaining the ability to make those really exciting effects is, you know, the appeal of materials. Now, like I say, it can seem intimidating. It can also seem like a lot of maths if you are more of sitting on that artistic side of the spectrum. But what I think is super important to keep in mind is that, like, we don't go in, you know, you don't go in to solve a mathematical formula that looks really complicated. You don't go in and do it all at once, right? You solve each little bit and you stick them all together. And that's the same with materials. We kind of learn the foundational building blocks and you're just layering them up on top of each other, like you might draw a really complex painting in Photoshop by building up the layers. That's the thing that you can do with materials. And then the other part is just that, like, my job is to help you learn from analogies and things you understand. And so, like, hopefully I've done that well. But yeah, like, that's the exciting opportunity of this course, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the nice thing too in the class is that a lot of the content that we've got recorded, you know, in the lessons is very thorough, of course. But then there's the live sessions where they can chat with you, ask you questions, get their work reviewed, kind of dive into that one at a time. I totally agree, by the way, that mathematics was never something that I was like drawn to until I got into materials, because for me, it's almost like a visual math. It's like, oh, I can see the mathematics playing out visually because I'm a very visually artistic person. I'm more on the artistic end of that spectrum, like you mentioned. But I think materials have kind of coaxed me into a more technical realm, if you will. So yeah, I love that. I love that you shared that. I think that's a good point. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here in a minute, but I wanted to ask one last question for you, Ollie. You've been a manager and you've worked with effects artists and mentored them for a long time. What would be your advice to somebody who's trying to build their portfolio and really kind of make their impact in their career as an effects artist?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think when I was a manager, you know, we used to have weekly candidate reviews where we go through a bunch of portfolios. I think two things are really important to me. One is think about what skills you're trying to demonstrate in a piece that you're going to put in your portfolio. Definitely focus on having fewer, better pieces than a lot of pieces that aren't quite up to the same quality. But when I'm typically going through stuff, I'm looking, does this candidate have good understanding of color theory? Do they have good shape language? Do they have good timing? And so long as I can see promise in each of those areas in a piece, then that's a really great thing to think about when you're structuring your showreel and when you're really making pieces to go in your showreel. I would say another thing is just like, make something you love and are excited about, because you're going to put so much more energy and passion and creativity into that thing. But yeah, just keep in mind that someone on the other end of this is probably watching 50 reels in an hour, and just try and dazzle them and demonstrate your skills in a nice short showreel. Love it.
Perfect. Well, again, super excited to have you helping out with this class. You know, at the time of recording, you're going to be teaching this class in August of 2026. So enrollment is open. You can head over to vfxapprentice.com and look for our advanced shaders class. Ollie's going to be teaching it there. We're actually going to run 2 sections of this class at 2 different times a day. The second section will be running in September as well. We've had a lot of popularity with our classes, and so we're excited to open up more seats to get people in. Go ahead and grab yours today. Super excited to see you all in there. And thank you again, Ollie, for being here with me today.
Thanks, Jason. Hopefully see you all in my class.
We'll see you. Bye.